Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of At Home with Dan. Today I'm trying to catch up with everybody on lockdown and I'm going to make my banana bread today. So as everybody's probably seen on social media, banana bread just seems to be everywhere during this lockdown period. So I'm going to do my simple recipe of banana bread. Really easy to put together, doesn't take too long to cook, and it's a fantastic one to put in the freezer as well. Great way of using up overripe bananas if you've got any. So ingredients wise, I've got soft brown sugar, I've got my bananas which I've already just mashed up with a fork, so basically just crushed them with a fork. 2 eggs, I've got some salted butter which has been melted but it's just been allowed to cool so it's not hot. So in this one I've got bicarbonate of soda, baking powder, ground ginger and ground cinnamon. When you're doing the ginger, just be careful. When it says a teaspoon of ginger, make sure it's just kind of a level teaspoon. Quite often people put too much ginger in things and it gives things a really kind of soapy taste and can make your tongue go a bit weird. And then in this bowl I've got plain flour. That's all you need to make a basic banana loaf. A couple of ingredients that I add just because I love what they do to the banana bread and the taste and the texture. So I've got some really good quality dark chocolate here. Luckily when I get this it comes in pellet form so I don't have to chop it up. So as well as the dark chocolate, I'm also just going to put a mixture of nuts in. So I've got some hazelnuts and walnuts, and it just adds to the flavour and texture. It just gives it that little extra something. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brown sugar. I'm going to add my 2 eggs into it. So as always guys, my recipe will be on my website, which is www.atthedinnerparty.com. And it'll also be on social media as well. So I've got the 2 eggs, the soft brown sugar. I'm just going to put this onto my freestanding mixer. If you don't have one of these mixers, you could use a handheld whisk. Just put the paddle attachment on. If you don't have one of those, you could do it with a wooden spoon, but it just takes a bit more effort. So I'm going to put this on. I'm just going to mix it for about 2 minutes and just until it's all really well incorporated. So that's the sugar and the egg mix really well mixed. It's gone nice and smooth. Next thing I'm going to do to that is just going to add the crushed bananas to that. So that's the bananas in there. I'm just going to give that another quick mix on the machine. So that's our bananas mixed through. Next thing I'm going to do is my spices and the bicarb and baking powder. I'm just going to add to my bowl of flour. And then what I'm going to do is just give them a good mix together. So that's all the dry ingredients mixed together in one bowl, and what I'm going to do is just add all of these dry ingredients into the egg and sugar mix and then just give it a quick mix. Not too high a speed this time because the dry ingredients will fly up and go everywhere if you put it on too quickly. All the dry ingredients are mixed into the mixture now, so what I need to do now is take my melted butter, which like I say, it's already been cooled slightly so it's not too hot. If you put it in too hot, it has a chance to kind of cook and split in the mix, so just melt it, let it cool slightly. It still needs to be melted and loose to pour in. So I'm just going to put the machine on a low speed, gradually pour the butter in, and as soon as that's in, I'm going to take it off the mixer. Right then guys, so that's all the dry ingredients mixed in with all the wet ingredients. I've also got the melted butter in there. So you could go straight into your cooking dishes with the mix as it is. Like I say, I'm just going to add a couple of other ingredients. So good quality dark chocolate. Just going to put a couple of handfuls in. Probably be about 80 to 100 grams there. And then I've got a mixture of walnuts and hazelnuts here. So I'm just going to put those in. Now put them in generally kind of whole, and it just, when you cut through and you get a slice, you just tend to get like a really nice little bit of texture there. So I'm just going to fold those in with the spatula. So that is our banana bread mix ready to go. It's really simple, really easy to do, and it uses up fresh ingredients that you maybe haven't got around to eating. So I'm just going to use a loaf tin. You could do these in a cake tin and make it slightly bigger, or you could even go down the line of making little muffins if you wanted. Little trick, I don't know if you guys can get a hold of this. Some decent suppliers have them, places like Lakeland quite often have it. It's basically like a baker's spray. So this is called gold wax, and it's basically like a grease spray. So instead of having to butter things and line things, you take your spray, do that, and it's lined your dish. It's just fantastic, quick and easy. So I've got my 2 dishes, and then we're just going to pour that mixture in. And I've got my oven, which has already been preheated to 165. And we're going to go into the oven with these for around about 45 to 50 minutes. Or until if you stab it with a skewer or a thin bladed knife, whenever the knife or the skewer comes out clean, you know the cake's ready. It's always a good thing just to let this cake cool a little bit in the tin first. It kind of reduces and relaxes away from the sides. And then once it's cooled ever so slightly, you can then tip it out into a cooling wire. So that is our banana bread ready to go in the oven, so I'm just going to pop that in the oven now. So that's a middle shelf of a fan assisted oven at 165. I'm going to give that 45 minutes. I'll come back and check it with the skewer and see if it's ready. When it's ready, guys, I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. Right everyone, so 45 minutes has passed on the banana bread in the oven, so I've just come to check it. It should be almost there. So I'm just using the knife. I haven't got a skewer with me, so I'm just going to use a knife. Stab the knife in, just give it 5 seconds or so. Pull it out, and if the knife comes out clean, which that has, it's cooked. If it comes out and it's got some like kalagi raw mixture on, you know it's still not cooked on the inside. So they're ready. Ideally, let them cool down for 5 minutes in the tin first, and they'll actually come away from the side of the tin, and then turn them out onto a cooling wire and let them cool fully. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to kind of break the rules a bit just because I want to kind of see what this looks like inside for you guys. So I'm just going to turn this out. So there we go. I'm going to cut a slice off. There we have it, guys. That's my banana bread, all done and dusted. Needs to cool down a bit before I can eat it, unfortunately. Hope you've really enjoyed this YouTube tutorial. I've got a few other tutorials on my YouTube channel. Please go to the channel and subscribe. It's free to do, free tutorials. Leave a couple of comments, let me know what you think, and if anybody has any requests on any future tutorials that you'd like me to do, let me know on social media. Until then guys, take care, stay safe, and happy cooking.